Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
It wasn't all fun. I was out there doing podcast work. I was out there working for the pod. The only thing that can get me over my Disney World blues is chatting to yous. George Pickering. How you doing, boy?
Yeah, I'm good. That was doubly funny because I thought you'd, even just saying the rhyme Disney World Blues, I thought you'd just say chatting to you, but then you did say yous, and then it was like, double hitter, you know?
Yeah. I used incorrect grammar, but to greater effect.
Yes.
And
because what is
do.
grammar if you can't change it for humour, you know?
Yeah.
Grammar will always change, you know? It is not the Shakespearean era anymore. And to be fair, did anyone talk like that? Was it just him, you know?
You've got to think about Shakespeare, and you've got to think, I think he was just having a laugh, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Got to be.
Yeah.
Just that'll stitch him up.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? This will fuck him up for the next 400 years.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, exactly. University
SWAT in year 8.
Yeah.
Read that back, you dyslexic knobhead. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
I'm going to start with some correspondence because.
Well, I hope the grammar's correct in these messages.
Well, I don't know. You know, our demographic. No, I'm going to start with Bob from Bob's Drum School. Sorry,
hello, Bob.
Hello, Bob. So, do you remember that episode where I spoke about how there was someone Tim Love had on a gig, and he said, I was playing with a drummer the other week, and he said you mentioned me on the podcast. So that was Bob. That was Bob. Yeah. I said, what are the chances? You know, because he basically messaged me and was just like, oh, by the way, I was the guy, you know? And so that's interesting, isn't it? You know, that he's listening and he played a gig with Tim Love and we're all in the same sort of
we're all
boat
connected.
of gigs and stuff, you know? But, you know, I do always worry when someone says, you know, I heard you talk about me on the podcast the other day. You go, yeah, I've said it before, but you go, what did I say? But it's usually nice.
Well, hello, Bob.
Also,
thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, thank you for the continued support. Also had a message in from Stuart Smith. I don't think I told you this one. When we did the Swiss Heavy episode, he said, great episode, but you missed an easy joke. George, what's the best thing about Switzerland? Well, the flag is a big plus.
That's great.
It's really good
That's
stuff.
Lovely.
Isn't it?
That's a lovely bit of business, that. You know,
so
because the flag... It's got a big plus on it. Yeah. We all know what the flag is, and that's the and what he's done there. You know, yeah, it's great.
I heard a
Love
good
that.
not joke.
Keep that
yesterday.
coming. Keep that coming.
This is it. Do you want to hear a good not joke?
Yeah.
Knock.
Who's there?
Right. So when I fucked up already. Do you know what? I had it in my head and I already forgot it. Let's not cut this out. Let's see if I can try and remember it. And then say it. No, I forgot it.
Great.
We'll keep it going, and if I can remember how to do it, we'll get back to that.
Yeah. We can cycle back.
Third bit of correspondence. I mean, I sort of made this bit happen, but an old drumming friend from Beer, Mike Coltman, he liked one of our stories. So I was like, I'm going to sing him a message to see how he is, because I haven't spoken to him for years. So Mike Coltman was the person who... In 2017, it was my first year of function gigs with the Revival, and I had to dep them all out because I was away for the year, and I gave them pretty much all to Mike. And then after that, we haven't really, I don't know, haven't spoken to him much.
You came back, you kicked him to the curb, and let him rot.
But he's clearly listened to a few episodes. We had a little catch up, and he commended our Bob Knight episode, as people do, and I said, well, I think it was good because we let someone else take over, you know what I mean? So yeah, thanks for messaging in. I don't know if I should say this and then cut it out. Just to you, Collision Drumsticks have been in touch again.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah. Hi, would love to connect. Have you tried our drumsticks before? Feel free to cut that out, Ben, but if you don't, that's all good. I think that's about it for correspondence. But do keep messaging in, because sometimes it does feel like we're screaming into a vacuum. And when people message, you go, oh, people do listen. That's lovely. So, yeah, great. I think, what else did I say I had? I think that was it. Start with correspondence.
I think I saw it on the stories while I was away, but obviously the other week we did a few little Jules Holland impressions, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
And the man himself liked the post, didn't he?
He did. But I really want it to be him that's controlling that account. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what I worry it is, and what I think it is he's got an admin person who does his thing, so he
just
can
saw he was mentioned.
Yeah, saw he was mentioned. Just give it a like, you know. But what I really hope was happening was he was playing.
He's there on his phone,
boy.
walking backwards through the house, pointing out things in the room to his partner, and he saw that and he went, "That's great. Yeah, that is me.
Yeah,
that is exactly how I talk and exactly how I walk.
Yeah,
give that a like. Show my support."
Yeah. God, can you imagine if that's what he does in his house? Refrigerator. No, let's not start again.
It must be a nightmare, but if they get, the amount of devices now and the technology where you sort of talk to your phone, talk to your smart home, your smart tech, it's constantly talking. Anyway, lovely bit of correspondence. That's great. Yeah, thanks people for getting in touch, validating our efforts and because we just chat and then if you want to all lap it up, great. Gobble up, we'll feed you. Yeah? We'll keep feeding you. You keep gobbling. Let us know you're hungry. And we'll keep feeding you. I couldn't have said
it better myself. I think I've remembered how to do the knock joke. Shall I try it?
You can try again. Yep.
Knock.
Who's there?
Control freak. Right, at this point, you say control freak who? Yeah? Good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's that.
It works the other way because I am a control freak. So, anyway. That's good. That's good. Not like
it. It's all right, isn't it?
Where'd you find that? Lollipop
I
stick?
heard it on the radio last night. It's knock joke
the
day
radio,
on Thursday
Granddad.
or something. Yeah, I know.
It's podcasts, mate. It's all about podcasts.
Well, I told you my Bluetooth thing's broken, so I can't listen to any of us, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Should we go on to Florida? Because I had a gig on Saturday. It was depressing. We don't need to talk about it. It's fine. I'm more interested.
Just a quick, why was it depressing?
Well, I don't want to say the name of the place. There's no way they'd be listening. But it was a social club, in Southampton areas.
Well, it's going to be depressing in Southampton.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
You walk in. Huh?
I'll say that. I'll put my name on that sentence.
Yeah. This is it. And you walk in and it was just too many tables and chairs for the amount of people there were there. Let's put it that way. It was very dark and dingy, and they kind of wanted everything really quick. Like they wanted us to start at 6:45.
Too early.
Me and Mark had only got there at 6, and then the groom kept pulling things back. He's like, "Hey, are you all right if we do I'll do my speech at 6:35, and then you guys go on at 6:45." It's like, fucking hell. And at this point, it was 6:25, and Ben Y had gone to get dressed, so I had to try and find Ben Y, and so we could do the shortest sound check of all time. But there just wasn't many people there. Do you know what I mean? And it was very Phoenix Nights, but without the humour of Peter Kay, and just dark and dingy. And I remember watching it going, if I ever get married, I want one or the other. I want it to be like a big affair, and it's outdoors and indoors a bit, and it's sunny. Just a big venue, you know what I mean? It'll cover both grounds, outdoors and indoors,
Indoors a bit.
Yeah. If it's nice weather, go outdoors a bit. But just, a lot of people, everyone's dressing up, looking smart. The food's great. Constant food, constant drinks, free, but, obviously all this costs money. But that's what you want, I think, if you're having a wedding. If you're having a wedding, have a wedding. But if you're not going to do that, just do a private ceremony. Do you know what I mean? Just have you and your parents or whatever, and just do it, and then just so you can be married if that's what you want. Because the in between, God, the in between can be depressing. Do you know what I mean? So it was it wasn't good, you know. And people just kept leaving, you know. Like, and by the end, it was just the groom dancing on his own, and I was saying, "This is sad."
Even his wife
and I don't
left.
know what. Yeah, well, near enough. I don't know what the food was, but it was. It smelled. All it smelled like was chicken balls from a Chinese. You know, it's that kind of smell, which is a nice smell. But you're kind of going, "Well, I can see it's not that." So, what have they cooked? You know, I didn't. It was the first time I've never even looked at the food. You know, just sort of gone. I'm gonna wait until I'm back. So, yeah, but it was a weird one because the first set it was just so dead, and me and the boys were going, "This is depressing." So the second set I had to be like, right, even if no one's in the room because there's about 12 people here and they've all left, let's just have fun. Do you know what I mean?
Have a laugh.
And then it did make it better. Have a laugh. But yeah, anyway, that was that. Right, let's go to carry on with Florida because last week after, I'll just say last week after we finished the episode, you told me one more thing about it, which was mental.
Yeah,
and
I'm going to save that for the end.
I know. I almost wish you'd saved it and not told me last week, because I'm going to have to act like. But I think it will still shock me, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me some more Florida shit.
I'll give you some more Florida stuff because I talked about our arrival, surviving the hurricane, and a few bits and bobs. But I've got plenty more. For you. So basically, I went away for 2 weeks.
Yep.
I'm not going to go through every day, but went for 2 weeks, hitting up Disney World, Universal Studios, NASA, went to Kennedy Space Center, did lots of other cool things, went on like an airboat ride to see alligators in the wild, in the marshes, in the swampland. That was good fun. But listen, it wasn't all fun. I was out there doing podcast work. I was out there working for the pod.
Oh, God, yeah, I forgot about this. Wait, why is that all fun? That sounds fun.
Well, the other half's going, do we have to? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we're here to go to Disney World, but...
Yeah, we're here for 2 weeks.
I do a podcast here, and I want to get some great stuff. Yeah. Anyway, first things first, I went to a guitar centre. So we didn't go to the parks every day. You got to have rest days. I mean, we wanted other things we wanted to do. We want to go to other shops, other restaurants, all that sort of stuff, right? Yeah. I was like, there's a guitar centre not that far. And I was driving a Mustang for the 2 weeks. So back in England, merry old England, do I have to drive? Pop you on the interstate in a Mustang. Let me drive. Yeah. Let's drive. Anyway, went to a guitar centre, which is a big music shop. Yep. And I've heard a lot, seen, sort of on Reddit that Guitar Centre, what they do. And they have a drum department in it. So we were heading that way anyway. Let's pop into Guitar Centre. In we go. There's the drum department on the left. Ooh, what do they have set up?
Yeah.
A Zildjian Alchem-E.
Right.
So no staff around whatsoever. Can I just play this kit?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Turned it on. It had headphones. It was clearly there to be tried out. Yeah. Set up appallingly. Yeah. Might I add. But it was the bronze edition, so it was like the low tier one where it's like half shells. Like heroes in a half shell. Zildjian power. Right? It's good. So it wasn't like really the full shells. But the main thing was to try out the old cymbals, innit? The what we've banged on about with this kit. So I had a little play. Pop the old headphones on. I got to say, it was pretty good. Yeah? Pretty darn good. The shells, the skins felt weird. That didn't feel as real as perhaps a Roland kit does. The mesh felt quite bouncy. Probably not set up great anyway as a demo kit. And the kick tower was quite unstable. But I'm not going to be too harsh on it because I didn't go in, maybe if I set it up properly from scratch. So the drums themselves didn't feel as real. But the cymbals, when you had the headphones on, I had to check that what I was hearing wasn't just like good, like the low volume cymbals.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, that it does sound like a high, you know. Just check I'm not getting bleeding, and I'm hearing a low volume cymbal sound like a hi hat. No, it sounds absolutely dog shit in the room. I've got video footage. But the hi hat was very good. It did really sound like it felt good to play, like on real metal cymbals, as it were. The crash was a bit inconsistent. Might just be because it's a demo kit and it's been knocked about a bit. But it was certainly. I'd definitely go and try it out if even just for a laugh.
Yeah.
Just to go. It was very interesting to sort of see what it was like. So, and then you could just the little screen and that, innit? And just go through and listen to different cymbals and stuff. But it's very interesting, and I'd still be quite wonder how it would sound in a gig scenario. Because it sounds rubbish, like in the room, but it's meant to. It's not meant to be.
Yeah.
I wonder if coming through a PA system, like, would that drown out the noise enough of the low volume cymbals? But anyway, that was fun. That was something.
Yeah. Did you buy anything while you were there in the drum shop?
I did not in that shop. No.
I
didn't in Guitar Centre. But on another day, in the morning, went to Kennedy Space Centre, right?
Of course.
I've never been before.
Yeah.
So it's about an hour 10 drive out east to the coast, east coast of Florida. That was really cool. Saw the space shuttle Atlantis.
Cool.
The actual real space shuttle. But then we headed up north along the coast, about an hour, to Daytona Beach Drum Centre.
He's got
I've got a t-shirt on and everything.
Yeah.
So looking for drum shops in the vicinity before we left, actually, and this one popped up. And it was a bit of a distance away, but all the other drum shops, sort of local to where we were part of like guitar centres. There were no no Graham Russell sort of shops, just in drums. However, Daytona Beach Drum Centre. So we'd earmarked to go there. So we drove up from Kennedy Space Centre up to there. We pulled up, and there was a guy carrying some drums. It's like a sort of couple of storefronts. He's carrying some drums from one shop to another. And we got out of the car, and he said, "Oh, you here for the drum shop?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, follow me." So we went in to the shop, and he said, "Oh, excuse the mess. I'm just rebuilding everything after the storm."
Right. Yeah.
So whilst the building itself hadn't been damaged, being on the coast, it was the hurricane was a lot worse. So in preparation, he basically ripped up everything of his shop, brought it off ground level, wrapped all the drums in waterproof, tarp, took all the carpets up, everything, piled it all, just as a precaution, really. And I saw some video of the storm in Daytona Beach, and it was a lot worse than it was where we were. And we could even see driving in, there was a lot more trees down, a lot more fences down, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, no problem. So he was the owner, Dan, shout out to Dan. So we got chatting, said I was from England and just having a look and blah, blah, blah. Told him about the pod, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
And just sort of chatted to him about his store, and he had a lovely collection of drum kits, snares, cymbals and stuff, a lot of vintage stuff, a lot of second-hand stuff. And I was having a little bit of a goosey.
Yeah,
and,
butcher's hook.
Something caught my eye. He had a 14x5 1970 Ludwig Acrolite.
Hello.
Yeah, that's one of them ones that keeps popping up all the time, isn't it? You have an Acrolite. And I looked at the price tag and I was like, do you know what? That's pretty reasonable, really. Pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And then you go, got to get this thing home, innit? Because you got to think, I can't buy a drum kit here. How am I going to buy a drum kit and get that home on a plane?
No, it's mental.
I bought the hi-hats back from New York.
Yeah.
Slimline, innit?
Yeah.
They're slim. Weighty, but slim. Snare drum. But I thought, do you know what? Fuck it. I'll make it work.
Yeah.
So picked myself up a snare drum. Took the skins off, obviously. put the rims back on, and then that was carefully packed in the suitcase, stuffed and surrounded by pants and socks.
Love it.
And actually, the acrylite, because it's aluminium, was actually quite light, really.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to skip to the end of the trip.
Mm-hmm.
We bought a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff in Florida.
Yeah.
Toys,
Did you
clothes.
take an empty suitcase with you? Did you do that thing?
No, we took my big suitcase, and then we took another smaller suitcase, a sort of mid-size.
Yeah.
And it's classic. We've all done it. We pack too much.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take a jumper. I'll take a coat. Oh, I'll take an extra pair of shoes. I'll take all this. And you get there, and then you go, well, it's fucking hot, and you're walking around the parks all day. You wear the same shorts and a few T-shirts. The place had a washing machine where we were.
Yeah.
So we bought so much stuff that we actually had to buy a bigger suitcase so that we'd have 2 big suitcases. But we did get everything packed in it to come home. But we got to the airport and got to the British Airways bag drop, put them on the scales. I think 23 kilos is his standard. That's what you're allowed. That's what they're letting you have. One of them was 33 and one of them was 27. Yeah. So we're like 15 key over. And the guy was like, oh, you're killing me here, guys. These are heavy. Yeah. We're like, yeah, we just bought a lot of stuff, innit? And we said, look, if it costs extra, we're happy to pay. And I don't get why that makes a difference. It's going on the plane. Yeah. You put it in another bag. It's all going on. Yeah. You know. Anyway, said, look, we're happy to pay a bit extra. And then he went off to that, and he came back, and he put our tags on the cases, and he went, don't worry about it. If anyone asks, it wasn't me. Well, legend. That's $200 he saved us there. Yeah. Because this boy likes a snare drum.
But at what point does it stop with him? You know, if he's doing the security and someone goes in with a gun, you know, he goes, well, you know, I shouldn't really let you in. But if anyone asks...
Where was he on 9/11?
Wasn't me. Yeah.
You know, if anyone asks, it wasn't me. Have fun, lads.
Yeah.
We're headed New York. Great.
It's early flight.
It's been ages, isn't it? So, yeah, so that was good. What else have I got? What are we doing for time? Went to see Enter Shikari.
Oh, yeah.
And Yumi at 6. Go all the way to Florida, watch a couple of British bands.
Yeah,
Lovely.
exactly. Yeah.
So, the day in sort of downtown Orlando, a venue called the Beachum.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. A balcony seat, sort of balcony tickets, so we could sort of actually sit down, because we're old, and watch over the balcony. But it was cool, but it was very interesting, one, to see bands I've been a fan of for 20 odd years, who I've never seen play live before, and watching them and going, oh, you're old like me now. You still, but I think it's Yumi at Six's last US tour. They're finishing up. I think they've got a UK tour next year, and then that's done. But obviously, Laurie Miller, our friend of the show, is his brother on guitar, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
So I was like, that's Chris Miller, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, connections. And obviously, Enter Shikari, Georgia, who's been on the show, was text for Rob, but she wasn't on this tour, unfortunately. But it was good fun seeing a couple of bands. Lovely.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
The one thing I'll say, snare drums weren't loud enough.
Yeah.
You think how loud they are on records?
Yeah.
I just thought that might have been where we were sat, but...
Yep.
Yep.
I had this at Ben Howard the other night. I went to see Ben Howard play.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about him. He was doing his I Forget Where We Were album.
Is he the one who does that? Only love.
Well, this is the thing. So the first album, he was very, as we described, you know, white guy with dreads, flip-flops, shark tooth necklace. Remember that episode?
From Cornwall, loves reef, billabong,
rich parents,
and a little bit of herb.
Yeah, exactly. So that was his first album. Then the second album was very ambient, sort of brilliant album, amazing album. But the drummer was great, but at times the snare would just, you wouldn't get much, you know what I mean? And then it would come in, and I don't know if it was how he was playing it or whether they were just messing with the sound, but yeah, it was an odd gig. It was an odd gig, I'll say that. I won't go too into it, but it was sort of like, it seemed like the crowd weren't really that fussed. You know what I mean? Like a song would end, and it'd be
I'd say that's the general audience of a Ben Howard show,
maybe.
though. Just not fun. I think for me, it's the sort of album my mum would have. So someone who's not really fussed about music.
Maybe.
But you put it on,
I mean,
it's
that second album,
so.
I'd say was a masterpiece in its own right, and it was like for real music fans. But it was more like, I don't know, it was just weird. He'd finish a song and it wasn't like, and a song ends and it's like, yeah, like a crowd cheering. It was almost just like a sort of a light round of applause. Yeah,
middle class
maybe
clap,
a bit.
Yeah,
maybe a bit. But yeah, same thing with that drummer. But it was cool nonetheless. What else you got on Florida? Because I want to get to the mad shit.
Well, the other thing I'll say is there's a lot of music in Disney World, right? There's a lot of live music pops up. I saw there was kind of like a band playing in sort of Africa world in Animal Kingdom. There was some world music in another sort of South Asian part of the world. There's a lot of themes going on in these places. Some of them probably borderline racist.
Yeah.
But it was Walt
Disney. I was
going to
say,
so
Africa world. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got some African guys, or they're putting on an African accent.
I'm glad you said accent.
What Americans would probably go, yes, that's African music.
Yeah.
I saw some Japanese drummers playing in Japan World.
This is mental.
Yeah, like an Indian duo, sort of like tabla and sitar.
In India
the
World.
Best, right? And then there's this, in Animal Kingdom, right? There's this boat, there's a sort of lake that kind of goes round the middle, right? And there was a boat, and it was just going round, and it had a drummer and 2 percussionists.
Right.
And that's all they did, was just on this boat, driving round, playing tunes.
Love it.
I think it was a drummer, there was tuned percussion. I've got a little video, so we'll get all this on the gram. And then you go, oh, this is nice. There's music playing through speakers. You go walk to a new bit. There's live music here. There's a barbershop quartet over there. There's all this. Now, apart from the barbershop quartet, everything had backing tracks.
Right.
Everything. The Indian duo, sitar and tabla, backing tracks.
Yeah.
The African band, backing tracks.
Mm.
And you're like,
it's like being a Frankie Valli gig.
I get the use of backing tracks. I get it.
Yeah.
But really? And I think it's got to be fucking perfect in Disney World. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be.
Yeah.
But what was interesting, the stage for the African band was done up to make it look kind of rustic, and the kit had been made to look rustic. And then you can see the fat bald guy with the XR on his iPad doing the sound.
Yeah.
But then what you forget is you go, you see all the entertainment, and you're in this bubble, absolute bubble of Disney World. People leave bags outside, like no one steals anything. It's this crazy sort of bubble you're in. And then you sort of realise it's someone's job. This is a job. A drummer has got a job playing kit, going on a boat just around the river in Animal Kingdom all day.
Yeah.
This band will come out, do a half an hour set 4 times a day.
Yeah.
There's some other cover bands and other bits of Epcot and stuff. They just come out. You're like, so that's someone's job.
Yeah.
And I just wondered, like, what's the industry behind it like? Are they full time? Is that it? He does 4 shows a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Cheers. Check in the bank. Lovely.
Yeah.
What's the depth situation like?
Yeah.
Because this is every day.
Happen.
Do you know what I mean? Every day. What's the depths like? How many shows? What are they doing when they're not playing? Very interesting. Anyway.
It is.
But the 3 bands I saw at the gig, the first band were an Australian band called Yours Truly. Then we had Yumi at 6 and Shikari. All backing tracks. So it was a backing track heavy holiday. And I wasn't expecting that, George. I'll be honest.
No.
I wasn't expecting it.
Segue into this. I'm sure there was a ride you went on that you also weren't expecting what happened to happen.
You cannot wait to get to this story.
I can't. It's mental. I want to hear it again.
Well, I'm going to get there in 1 minute because
All right.
I've got another little thing for you.
Okay.
The orange juice and lemonade
Oh, yeah.
situation takes another twist of lemon. No, another turn. So before the gig, we were in downtown Orlando, got there nice and early to park, walked around the lovely lake called Lake Eola. I just had terrapins just in the lake, just swimming about. Found a sort of bar, went in, had some bar food, have a drink, chill out for a bit. And we said, can we get an orange juice and lemonade? And he was like, yeah, sure. Barman, he went away and he came back and he said, can I just check which type of lemonade do you want?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's a curveball.
Yes. He said, do you want cloudy lemonade or more like Sprite?
Yeah.
And we were like, Sprite. So that was another question. I wasn't expecting that.
No, but did he do the drink properly though? Put orange juice and lemonade in the same glass.
He knew to do that.
Yeah.
But he wanted to check which, because I think his default lemonade would be cloudy. But he could tell we weren't from America. Because I was wearing a Union Jack suit.
Yeah.
You know.
Full body Union Jack, shaved head, tattoo with a
that
lion.
That big hat like Joey wears in Friends.
Yeah.
But anyway, right. So let's move on to the final tale. This will wrap up Florida trip. This will wrap it up for you. Now, precursors, George. I don't know if you know, but I'm not the biggest fan of heights. So bit of a fear of heights, and generally not a biggest fan of roller coasters.
No,
right? And a lot of that does come down to height, and the ones that are specifically outdoors. So big outdoor roller coasters, no. Put me on an indoor roller coaster, I'm okay.
Yeah,
you know, because if I do fall off, it's not that far, and you can't tell how high you are. To basically put it, I had to put my big boy pants on quite a bit on this trip. I wanted to go on rides, push myself a little bit more. But a lot of the rides now are like 4D simulators. They make you feel like you're falling, but you're not. You are static. Amazing how it is. Anyway, the very first ride we went on, day one, Magic Kingdom, is a ride called Space Mountain. Now, this ride is a classic at the Magic Kingdom in Disney World. And it's an indoor roller coaster, and you sort of go up, you start at the top, and you just go round all the way sort of down to the bottom. It twists, it turns. The key thing is, it's in the dark.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not that in the dark. There's lights. It's meant to be like a space rocket trip, you know, and there's lights, whizzing lights and sounds and stuff like that. So whilst it's dark, it's not pitch black. It's quite fast, but you're in these little shuttles, 6 of you in a line, in sat behind each other in 2 little ships that are joined. So 6 of you. So day one, go on that. It is quite fun. I am a bit like, whoa, you know, but all good. Now I'm going to fast forward. Final day, we've been to Hollywood Studios in Disney for the afternoon. Did some cool rides there, but then we had tickets to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which is back at the Magic Kingdom, where in the evening they transform the park to Halloween themed, and it's still open, and they have a Halloween parade and all that sort of stuff. So final night, go to this Halloween thing at the Magic Kingdom. So we're back at the Magic Kingdom. We get there, have a drink, watch the Halloween parade. Right, let's do some rides. Let's go on Space Mountain again.
Yeah.
The queue's not very long. Let's go on Space Mountain. So we go, we queue up, doesn't take long. We get sat in the shuttle, in the little thing. And this thing comes down, you're like, right, off we go. And then as the ride started, what I forgot was, I remember reading that on Halloween nights, the ride is completely pitch black. They turn off all the lights.
Yeah.
And then when you first ride it, when it's normal, when there are lights going off, you can kind of see a bit of the track ahead of you as to which direction you're going to go, you know. This, fucking pitch black.
That's mental.
Couldn't see a thing. So we start off, we go around a bit, and then you go, you go up, sort of up, takes you up to right to the top. And then it starts throwing you down. And we get about, 40 seconds in, a minute in, like a third of the way into the ride. Absolutely pitch black. Can't tell which way you're going to be going. And I'm gripping on to the seat in front of me. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I'm very secured in. All of a sudden, the ride stops. And it shouldn't stop.
Yeah.
Some rides do have points where they sort of stop, build suspense, and then off you go again.
Yeah.
Or they send you backwards. This just sort of stops. And it is pitch fucking black. And there is very ominous, dramatic music playing for this ride. Sat there in the dark. And I'm just like, fucking hell. Anyway, we just sat there for quite a while now. In the pitch black. And then we hear over like this the tannoy system that the staff are communicating on, and I hear the words like, "I'll turn the lights on." They turn the whole floodlights on in Space Mountain. So this is a ride you should never see.
Yeah.
Inside it, and they turn the floodlights on, and so your eyes adjust, and you look, and you can just see the cacophony of scaffolding, metalwork, track, walkways.
Wow.
It's just this big structure of grey metal in this big sort of white conical shaped building, and you're like, it must be bad if they've turned the lights on.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
And to the right was a walkway. There's like a walkway with a railing. There's like a junction box with like stuff in it, and you can sort of see at each part of the track there's obviously an accessible walkway for staff to get to it or whatever. To the left, 50-foot drop. Absolute fuck all to the left.
Oh.
We're at one of the highest points in the ride.
Oh my God.
And I do not stop squeezing the seat in front of me.
No, of course you don't.
I think my hands are going red at this point, or white. I'm getting white.
Yeah.
And it's like, Now my partner knows that I'm going to be feeling a bit funny about being up this high and stuck. But she does the correct thing and doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't pander to it, because that will only make it worse. But just is very patient and silent, which I very much appreciated. Anyway, so eventually we can see another cart stuck lower down, and we see a staff member get to that cart. Anyway, eventually a staff member comes up to where we are, and she's like, "How's everyone doing? Really sorry we've had to stop the ride." And then she makes a call using like an internal telephone system. And then she says to us, basically, "This is a tier 3. We're going to have to get you guys out. But where we are on the track, we need more staff to come and help. We can't do anything until we have at least," I think they needed 3 staff, like 1 per 2 people to come up. So once we've got more staff, we need an engineer to come up and secure the rocket to the track so it doesn't move unnecessarily. Mental. And we're also going to have to get the fire department to come and get you out because of where you are. Because we were so high up, and there is a sheer drop on the left. And at some point, the seat safety harness thing that clamps down, it's going to have to come up to get you out, and then you are not secured in any way. So for, safety reasons. So we sat there another further, 10 minutes. I am still gripping on, boy.
Yeah, I bet.
Still gripping on. And eventually the tech comes, straps the rocket to the track. And then 4 burly bigger boy firemen come and rescue us and get us out of the... And my legs are... I had to the safety harness come up, and I had to get myself up on the edge of the rocket on the right-hand side. And then, get my legs out. A lot of these rides don't have a lot of leg room.
No.
So it's quite tricky to get your 6'1" carrying legs out. But then we had to walk down a heck of a lot of metal railing and staircases, and I am gripping onto the edge, boy. Gripping on. And then eventually, this is how high we are. We had to get the lift down.
Mental.
There was a lift that took us down 3 or 4 floors down to ground level, and then out we went.
Wow.
And my legs were like combo of jelly and a combo of fatigue from being tense.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was one, not ideal for me. with my sort of fears. Two, great story.
Brilliant story. Yeah.
And you got to see the inside of Space Mountain with the lights on, which no one really ever does.
Yeah.
And it was the final night. I thought, do you know what? Maybe that's the last ride we do.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Did another one, and then did one Monday morning.
Nice.
But anyway,
when you first told me
experience.
When you first told me that story, I thought you were going to say like that was part of it. You know what I mean? Like they were like, right, turn the lights on, and then you're up there for another 2 minutes, and then they go, oh no, we need to change something. No one move, and then the ride starts again. It was like something to just throw because it's Halloween. But when you were like, nope, no, then full burly fireman got me out, and
quite the experience. But these things happen.
Yeah, they really do.
These things happen. But yeah, had a great time, and also, what was I going to say? Can't remember, George. I can't remember. Anyway, we had a lovely time.
Yeah.
It was an awesome 2 weeks. Did lots of cool stuff. And she popped the old question, innit?
Do you know what? When you were saying, when you were like, what was I going to say? I was like, was it that you got engaged?
No, that wasn't what I was
Something else happened. Something else definitely happened.
Well, people say to me, what was the best part of your holiday? And whilst, got engaged,
Yeah.
My real answer is probably the Transformers ride.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Or the Ludwig Acrolite.
No, it was very nice. In the middle of the holiday, we were at Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, sat by the lake in the middle, views of Jurassic Park, Harry Potter World, and she asked me to be her bride.
Amazing.
To which I said yes, of course.
Yeah.
And I was presented with this Infinity Gauntlet ring. So whilst it might appear gaudy to those unfamiliar with the MCU, and Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet and the Infinity Stones, it's actually a very apt ring for me because I love those films.
There you go. Well, yeah. It is massive though. Fucking hell.
It is huge, yeah.
Right, well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Let's wrap up because I've got to go get my ears sucked.
Oh, yeah.
Suctioned. Ear suctioning.
What is that? Just a sort of... What's made you do that? Because you've had it done before.
Yeah, I did it last year before I had my ear things moulded, and they were like, I recommend you doing this once a year. And it was November last time. And my right ear got really waxy recently. So I was like, I'm going to book it. But the thing is, you used Otex and stuff to get the wax out. And now I'm like, am I all right now? Do you know what I mean? Do I need to go?
Yeah,
but I think it's like, if you turn up and they're like, hey, you're good, it's just 25 quid. But if they're like, no, we should do these, then it's 60. So, but the difference is night and day when you get it done. You're like, I think I'm losing my hearing. I think that's what's happening. Oh, well. And then you have your ears done. You're like, oh, no, I'm fine, actually. There was a lot of wax from putting in-ear monitors in however many times a week.
Yeah.
Pushing it all in, baby. But yeah.
The human body requires a lot of maintenance.
It does.
And people have monetised that maintenance.
Yep.
And, is what it is, isn't it?
Let's end there.
George, lovely. Thanks for indulging me in my stories of Flow Rida. And it's been great chatting to you while you've just been sat there in your dressing gown.
I am in a dressing gown.
And thankfully, the camera has not fallen down.
No, it has not. No. You did get a bit of chest, but other than that, it's all good.
Nothing I ain't seen before.
Yeah, this is it. Right. Let's wrap up.
Yeah, Instagram, email, get in touch. Keep getting in touch. Have any of you ever been stuck on Space Mountain before? Or any other rides?
Very niche question. Have you ever been stuck on Space Mountain?
Very niche question, but that's what we do. That's what we do here. Have you ever been to Daytona Beach Drum Centre and bought a Ludwig Acrolite before?
Yep.
If you have, get in touch.
Yeah.
If not, still get in touch. That's what we're here for. George, thank you very much. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.